Mayor Michael Bloomberg of New York City, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me.
You're on a three-way intersection. You're the mayor of the city that's at the epicenter of this Wall Street implosion. You're a very wealthy investor, and you're also the founder of Bloomberg Financial Services and Bloomberg News. You just watched Secretary Paulson. Were you reassured by his answers, or do you think we need to know more?
Well, I think, number one, Hank's the right guy for now. He knows what goes on Wall Street. He understands these complex financial instruments in ways most people do not, and most Treasury secretaries do not. So if I had to have one person at the helm today, I would pick Hank Paulson. But I think you got to step back and say, what's the real problem here? There are two crises. One is the crisis in the financial market, a lack of confidence that almost closed down the financial system this past week, and that Hank has to address. And it's up to the Treasury, with the acquiescence of Congress, but to do something quickly. And nobody knows exactly what they should do, but anything is better than nothing. You've got to restore the public's belief and the market's belief that we will go on. And this is not just an American problem. It's financial markets around the world that are all interlinked, and they're all collapsing. The second problem, which is up to Congress, it's a much longer term problem, and may be the genesis of the problem that we have today in the financial markets, and that is that people are losing their homes. Deserted homes are destroying neighborhoods. People are losing their jobs. We have some industries that Congress tried to protect, and instead of protecting them, they've caused them to not keep up in a competitive world with new products. We have an education system that isn't preparing us for the future, and we have a retirement system that's just not going to be there when we need it. So there's two things here. One, you got to do quickly. One, you really need a lot more thought about, and that Congress should spend their time debating. But I don't know that there's time for a lot of the debate now.
I wonder if there is a system, however, that you can build in that is a kind of fail-safe system for getting some of those answers once you act with alacrity. This is a country now that has watched us go to war with, in the judgment of a lot of people, not enough questions being asked and being answered. The Patriot Act was passed very swiftly. A lot of people, Republicans and Democrats, believe that was a big mistake, that it needs to be restructured. Same thing with Homeland Security. So how do you build that in to getting the passage that needs to be done this week so that the taxpayers can be assured that they're not just carrying Wall Street on their backs after all this irresponsible lending?
You can put some safeguards in, but you don't have time to build in the safeguards that you should have for long term. And we're paying the price for the last years where we all wanted something for nothing, where we took risks because we were convinced that we would never have to pay, somebody else would pay on the downside, but we'd keep the profit. Congress has been unwilling to address the fundamentals of this country, an energy policy that makes sense, infrastructure, health care, all of these kinds of things. So you want something that overnight we can do what Hank Paulson's been arguing for a long time. Regulation's a good example. Our regulation in this country is designed for the world of 50 years ago. We have separate regulation for different industries, except today those industries all do the same thing. Also, our regulation isn't consistent with regulation around the world. And every company, every bank, your job, my job, all our jobs depend on commerce and what happens elsewhere in the world. And we have to find ways to pull together in Congress, not have all of the different oversight committees, in the executive branch, not have all the different agencies, and not just think that we're the only ones that can do this, but pull it all together. Paulson's been talking about it for a long time, but I think it comes out of this instant gratification. We all were happy when the stock market was going up. We're all happy when there was all this money sloshing around in the economy, and everybody could get a loan, whether they could pay it back or not. When companies went out and bought other companies and people got great bonuses, it was great. And nobody wanted to say, wait a second, this can't go on forever. I'm happy to say in New York, at least, we didn't think it was going to go on forever. And for the last couple of years, we've been salting away